Oh, look at that right here. Okay, perfect. I'm here in my home territory where I live in Stz'uminus territory. My name's Daniel Elliott, and I'm happy to find a little patch of Oregon grape. And these are called tall Oregon grape. And inside the bark is medicine for our urinary tract. It's also was a powerful medicine for our whole in our body system. But what was also amazing is that the inner bark was also used for a very specific type of yellowish deep ochre color that I just absolutely love. And and you can always tell tall Oregon grape, they got the prickly leaves on them. So I'm going to take one here and I'm just going to show you, and I thank it for an opportunity here to work in this plant. And let's see, and I'm just going to take a little bit of tobacco, because in our teachings, as we take something, we give something back, and tobacco is one of our chief healers, and it allows us to maintain connection to our responsibility here, stewards of the land, and what we can take and what we can share and give and use and maintain. So it is a very powerful way of understanding. I remember thinking, yeah, we're living in the 21st century. My elders are telling me to do this and do that. And I'm thinking, wow, do we really need to do that? But what really occurred to me was that it maintains a balance inside of me no matter what happens in our society, how digital we become, how, the information world that happens. We can slow ourselves down, show the respect that we need to, and then allow ourselves to become part of the original cycle. It's a slower frequency. It allows us to breathe deeper, slower heart rate. And so medicine is funny. It comes in a couple of different forms. And I'm just going to take my little tool here in the dark. I got to be careful because this one is razor sharp, this draw plane. So, you see the red leaves, which is gorgeous. It's a beautiful burgundy. And they have deep violet purple berries in August. And it's awesome. And this one also tells us that this is my knife, because I didn't bring a pocket knife. But look at the color in here. This is the yellow ochre. Look at that.
Incredible.
And so how different it is from just a few hundred feet from down the road with the alder, and then you get this. And so it's also medicine and dye. So you can take up a few of these chunks and boil them and then make it as concentrated as you like. So we're going to harvest a bit in here, because this plant is considered a weed and it's prolific, and we're not going to harm this area too much.
And you said, when you give something back, right, it reminds you on slowing down and the cycle of things. What do you mean by that?
Because we are separated from nature, and that goes all the way back to Gregorian calendars, when we used to celebrate a 13-month calendar, 13 moons. There's teachings about 13 moons on a turtle's back, and that's the rhythm that this cycle operates on. But when you're 12 months, we're just that little bit quicker. And one of my Cree elders said that was the separation from man and nature when we took that on. So when we step away from that frequency, it's faster, and we slow down and we feel the moon and we feel the shift in the weather. We become very sensitive, and in doing so, we slow ourselves down. So this puts the cycle back in us. So whether you're children and we're teaching schools or adults, and we find medicine walks, we call them, because even color and all these things are different forms of medicine. It could be for our spirit, could be for our health or our mental. So it actually helps us balance out our wheel. Like, say for instance, there's a beautiful color in July and August, and that is, you have to be very careful with that plant if you're taking emotional balancing pills from the pharmaceuticals. This is wild St. John's wort. And so they ask you, like, you know, are you taking anything else? And so I actually had this plant with another one that I helped create a medicine for detoxing from drugs and alcohol for some of my clients in their community. So their spirit was at unrest, their physical body was screaming, they couldn't sleep, the medication from the doctors weren't working. So I had this plant and another one, made a gallon of tea, and the guy slept for 2 days. But what happens too is when you drink this tea just without having to detox, your spirit also calms down. It allows your vision about what you need to do in your life become more clear. You're not clouded and inundated with our society is perpetuating. And so when we have the right teachers that help us understand what the medicines are, but even just not knowing, but coming out here, we know there's something that's very important about being here, you know. And so people think, I've connected to nature, I'm doing this, but when you really look at it, we are nature, you know. And so when we understand that the respect that we can come from looking at nature as we are it, we are, and so we need to take care of us and all of it. Let's see, we'll get that guy there, that one, and do a couple more of these. This is the way to do it. Look at all the beautiful ochre in there.
Yeah, if it's opening up, right? It's like, here I am.
Yes.
Look at me, how pretty
I'm ready.
I am.
I can be used for anything. So in the springtime, you'll see these little characters, and these are the flowers that are sweet. And so in the springtime, we just love eating these when we were kids. But tall Oregon grape, they're bitter than the other short Oregon grape. I think tall Oregon grape, not so much for food, amazing for dyes. So I'm happy to, and look, you know, we could have 100 people come by and they won't know that we were here. And that's the magic of my elders' teachings, that we didn't clear all that. And look at all we got, and we can sell it and share it and buy, you know, all that. This is just a pulse that we're connecting with. Hi, Chika. Thank you. There you go. That was good. But I mean, it's so full of medicines and places to see and be in here. It's just, where do we pick, you know?
Yeah, this is the fascinating part about it, right? When you look, when you really look, right?
Yeah.
You do see.
And
so
driving by, you wouldn't.
No.
I have ochre here.
This looks pretty like, oh yeah, this is all like right now sleeping or dead or whatever, right? You would, yeah.
So I do have a place where I harvest for medicine, and I wouldn't do it here, but what you want to do, I think it's going to be fine, and it's not respected by society what this place is. So we'll just pull in there, and I'm pretty sure we can just walk along the edge of the road there and grab some red willow, which is will give you that bark. They use it in pipe ceremony, and they call it chinupa. It's a pipe, and very powerful ceremony.
Is there, in your teaching, when you speak about the cycle, are like there different steps you describe? Which kind of steps are these in the cycle?
Yeah, like for me over the years, I have a whole system of timing when plants are ready, and if that's what you're talking about. So I'm always aware of what I need to be, grabbing onto. And so I'm just thinking that this is red willow right there, and I look at the more tall orchid grape growing away there. So I can just go here like this, because these are just considered weeds. That's it. They don't. And all those trees are mostly alder, and the tea that we drank this morning, cottonwood buds. That's all young cottonwood trees there. That was what we had this morning in our tea.
Wow.
And that's the tree. So up top, the buds get quite big, and that's what we try to harvest. And you can't just pick them and put them in a bag. They got to go in the freezer, because they start to open up and release all of their sap and everything, so they get really sticky, and that stickiness tells us that my lungs are in congestion, so I need something, and that's what it is. That tells me that that's a plant I can take. So it actually, when I drink pure cottonwood bud tea, I feel it just cut the phlegm, bronchial dilator, and there we go, and it just helps you heal faster.
So it's basically like when you observe the plant and what the plant is doing itself, right? Then you can relate to it, what's happening in your system, and then you can ensure like it's helping you.
That's the teaching, really. What the plant looks like, it's going to cure. So I mean, I don't mind doing what we're doing for dyes. If I was doing for medicine, I wouldn't be here, because traffic and carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide is. But for making dyes and wools and stuff, I think we're cool here. And then this is not people don't care about this plant. So even though it's beautiful, but it also tells you it's for your blood tonic, but also there's a beautiful red color, almost like a Rizian crimson or something like that. For the red willow. So we're going to get a few of those. So come on down. And we could, if you have tobacco in there, I forgot it. Yeah, we're just going to say thanks for these willow trees here. You can see this one is sprouting in here already, and it's lovely and red. The medicine's there, but you can see down on the base of it, it's starting to turn green already. So in the summertime, thank you for our plant relatives and our beautiful medicine for our chinupas and dyes. We give thanks to this corner here. Thank you.
What is used? Like everything?
Yeah, this is, it has ASA in it, acetaminophen, it's aspirin. So it's actually a very powerful pain reliever. So sometimes I'll mix this with some of my others, and you're just like, what body pain? It's amazing. It's really good. So we have a couple little more pieces here. I think I'll harvest on the corner and
how do you work with it? Like you dry it or make a powder, or how do you?
Oh, this one I think I would just. You can go back and shave it off with a knife, and like almost like a peeler, and then I think the dyes will come out in that. So this is, we might get a little less of this, but that's okay. I can see where other people know that it's medicine and where they pruned it. So so we'll find a balance for that. And I know sometimes I'll chip all these up, but for the pipe ceremony, they call it chinupa. They only want it shaved with a knife. Fair enough. So you'll get to meet the elder tomorrow with that. So, yeah. So if you want, I'll prune those up. And so, in our crazy world we live in, there's medicine around us. There's dyes around us. And I mean, I love to go out in where there's absolutely nothing and no people, and it's a beautiful way to go. But it's also important to learn that we can use parts and systems inside of our towns and communities that we live in that provide. Whether they planted these or not, I'm not sure, but they grow prolifically. And Yeah, you can smell the medicine in there. Yeah.
It's also very fresh, like kind of a almost like a little bit like a citrus or some like this.
I've had people that said, "Oh, I'm allergic to aspirin," which lots of people are, but they're not allergic to this. So somehow in the liquid inverted synthesized process of trying to take out cells and make it medicine that they can sell, they lose the value of the medicine. So I think that's, yeah.
You see the juice in there, like where it's darker.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting how you think about some of these places that dye our leathers and stuff in third world countries, and the toxic chemicals they make these colors with. And here we are, you know, look at we're just in.
No, it's like because in a way, this weird thought of that it has to be, it has to stay a certain vibrant color for like forever, which is in itself anyway not working because the quality of the clothes is not long lasting anyways, right?
No, it's true. It's very true.
And I think it also fits the very loud lifestyle, this very unnatural bright colors you can get when you do it like the chemical way. And all the natural dyes I have done so far, you just feel they're in harmony with everything, right?
So thank you. I appreciate you guys for coming out here and learning this today. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to our ways, which they may be old ways, but they're ways that we need to understand for our generations that come after us.
Yeah, and I really do appreciate that you share that knowledge, because I do believe, like, especially in the Western world, like why we got so far away from all these teachings, and there lays such a treasure and value in it, and it's going to be so important in the future. So
Thank you, and I really appreciate the work that you intend to use with this. Is very powerful and important. And you know, coming all the way from Germany and then understanding this makes we say Eichqualowen, which is a good feeling around our heart that we're not in this alone. We're not marching against, you know, the big, you know, machine, the man kind of thing. We're taking time to listen to each other and learn ways that we can make it work. So I value with this work and the intention around it. So thank you.